Welcome to Tuned In, a show where I review cartoons, no matter how new, no matter how old, no matter the cost. And audience, is this your card? Of course not. But I'm in a mood for magic. And I could have done this episode as my stage magician persona, Foxanadu, Master of the Arcane. That's a little bit over the top, and I'm not quite there yet. I'm still learning. My tricks are not good. Well, I am actually training to be a real stage magician. Well, probably never be good enough to play anything other than children's parties, but that's not the point. I decided to do this episode after the passing of a magical legend last month in Roy Horn of Siegfried and Roy. And he passed May 8th. Yeah, and this is June. Yeah. So, yeah, I decided I was going to pay homage to one of the biggest acts in Las Vegas in their day. And they had an animated show. They had an animated television series that lasted 4 episodes. I kind of wanted to talk about it because it was interesting, and it was one of the last hurrahs of Deke Entertainment. So I definitely wanted to talk about it in honor of Roy. I guess I could talk a little bit about the duo to start off with. Siegfried and Roy were a duo of German-American magicians and entertainers. The best known for their appearances with white lions and white tigers. They were a huge act, one of the biggest, most visited shows in Las Vegas up until 2003, when Roy was attacked by one of his trained cats. It was a fluke accident, it really wasn't the cat's fault, and Roy insisted that the cat not be put down, because that's just part of the nature of training these animals, and he knew better than anything that the cat was as innocent as an animal could be. So they stopped performing at the Mirage Resort and Casino. From that point on, it was a career-ending injury. But their legacy to magic will forever live on, even when they do not. They went on to be the executive producers of an animated sitcom called Father of the Bride, which I may cover later. That was an interesting series too. But on to this particular review, which I'm just fascinated. It may have only been 4 episodes, but there was so much potential for it to go, on, and I would have been very invested. Said animated series was Siegfried and Roy, Masters of the Impossible, which Siegfried and Roy, Masters of the Impossible was a sort of a catchphrase during their Vegas acts. Even their specific magic word, Sarmoti, which was literally Siegfried and Roy, Masters of the Impossible. Siegfried and Roy, Masters of the Impossible ran from September to December of 1996. I love the theme song, but I can't find it anywhere of any good quality. The premise of Siegfried and Roy, Masters of the Impossible took place in a mystical land of Sarmoti, which, of course, they decided to call their mystical land that. It was an action-adventure, sword and sorcery cartoon, but the thing about the land of Sarmoti in this in the plot is great evil titans appeared and stole away all of the magic of the land. So no one can actually perform magic anymore. You have these mythical creatures, but they don't have any powers. You still have like these trolls and dwarves. One of the main members of the cast is Rumpelstiltskin, who no longer has powers. And so he's just like this short, angry guy, which is kind of funny. And so little bits of scraps of magic that had survived are hunted and coveted. And that's kind of neat. But in this land of really no sorcery, come our heroes. Roy, who is a master of training animals and understanding animals, and Siegfried, a stage magician illusionist, not actually doing any real magic, but doing the sleight of hand trickery stuff to seem like he does. And that led to some interesting moments where people actually are acclaiming these two when they're working together as actual magic, when really they're just glorified adventurers in this almost D&D-ish setting. I actually love the premise and the setup and all this stuff about it. All the while, they're trying to bring real magic back. They're trying to protect their white tigress friend, who seems to have some latent powers that are blossoming. There wasn't a huge amount to it, but I absolutely adored the premise. I saw only the pilot episode when I was a kid, and I loved it. And I kind of wish more came from it. The animation was actually extremely good, especially considering this was made by Deke in '96. Deke, it was almost on its way out by then. And, I mean, Deke died in 2000, so, officially. And, so had about 4 years left in his life, but it released so many series, and this was one of the best animated ones that I had seen from them. I mean, nothing against Dig, it just had a certain level of animation I was used to from them. And this was top notch. I would have watched so much of this series if it lasted more than just 4 episodes. And there isn't really much more to say about it. I just absolutely adored the whole series. And, well, I just really wanted to honor one of the greatest of, I guess I want to say my craft, but when I'm a rookie, I can't really say I'm a magician yet. But, you honor your elders, regardless. And I really wanted to respect the dead. And it's a pity I didn't hear about it sooner. I would have made this episode last month, probably. So it's a little less timely, but that's okay. I get the honor through. But that's about it. Until next time. If you can see this show, if you can catch Siegfried and Roy Masters of the Impossible, it's only 4 episodes. It's worth a look. Yeah, I enjoy it. and I think you might too, especially if you're into sword and sorcery, if you're into the fantasy kind of thing. I think the acting's pretty good. The voice acting is fine. It was like legends like Jim Cummings and Jeff Bennett and stuff like that. But yeah, that's about it. So until next time, this was Josh the Fox Mills. Sarmoti. And, well, stay tuned.